Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some more Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. Diving into the All-22, football is back from the preseason opener for the Pittsburgh Steelers Friday against the Houston Texans. Want to talk about rookie second-round pick Zach Frazier vying for that starting center job with Nate Herbig. Had been running behind Herbig throughout training camp and throughout this game, but this contest and performance against Houston might have been the first step for Frazier to gain ground and work his way into the starting lineup. Let's talk about and break down his NFL debut. Before we start, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Would really appreciate that. All right, let's get into Zach Frazier, his first NFL snap, and it is a good one overall, working this double team, this combo block here with right guard Spencer Anderson. Frazier, the man in the middle, and just seeing him create that movement and displace this D tackle for this huge hole for running back Najee Harris. Well blocked overall on this play, but you're just seeing Frazier drive his feet on this double team right here, really create that movement, and that is what you're looking for in that double team, and then even climbing and working to the next level on that second level defender and finishing with some aggression as well, which has been really common in training camp. Frazier's got more pancakes than probably anybody else, and so you're just kind of seeing the play style, demeanor, the traits that partially got him drafted. So a great first rep for Zach Frazier. Now let's look at Frazier in pass protection, play action, a staple in this game and of the Arthur Smith offense in general. Steelers quarterbacks using play action on at least 10 passes, at least 10 play action uses and calls in this game. So we're going to watch Frazier against the D tackle here and just seeing his anchor. What I kind of saw on tape overall was a guy with really good grip strength and anchor and just solidly built and just strong overall, even if he lacks maybe ideal length. So see him against the D tackle, just be able to hold and anchor and sit. A little bit of a hop step as well to give a little ground here and make sure he can stall out this rush here by the D tackle, who is stuck the whole way, just can't shed, can't disengage. We'll get a good look at it from the other end zone view as well, and we'll see it right here. There is Frazier against the D tackle, head up, or a little inside shade, I should say, on the left guard, Mason McCormick, a fellow rookie, but we're going to see Frazier just get into his pads, into his chest overall, refit his hands, and stall that one out. So just a nice job there from Frazier to give Justin Fields time on this completion to Van Jefferson for a good gain. In the Arthur Smith system, while there was a lot of power and traps, it was not zone exclusive in this game. It's still the bread and butter of his run scheme. And so with that, you're going to get a lot of reach and cutoff blocks. We're going to see Frazier work to the D tackle here, this 2-eye essentially, and be able to reach and turn his hips and get in front of the D tackle on the front side of this run. That allows Mason McCormick to climb to the second level. So a nice job here from Frazier to be able to do that, secure that block. The run does bounce wide, but we're just focusing and worried about Frazier, what he's doing, his assignment on this rep. And so we're going to see him, getting that initial help here from McCormick to keep the tackle inside before he climbs and releases, but still seeing Frazier be able to get his hips across, his head across, and then turn him out. So had this ball come off his inside hip, which is probably the intent of the play, or at least possibly one lane that Warren could have taken, this block is secure. The D tackle is not going to be able to close that space down. And so a nice job here from Zach Frazier to be able to execute this block. These reach blocks will be very common, again, in this inside zone, outside zone based system that Arthur Smith runs, and you're going to need guys to make those blocks that Frazier just did. Now let's look at a power run. Again, Smith viewed as a zone guy, but that was not the only concept called in this game. This is crunch, or a wham block down from Darnell Washington, the tight end. It really is crunch. You're getting dual down blocks here from McCormick and Washington on the 3-tech. There just is nobody for McCormick to block because they had dual 3-techs on this play. Had there been a D tackle right here, then McCormick would have down blocked him too. We see the wham action here from Darnell Washington, and Frazier getting out into the second level, directly releasing. Even if there had been a D tackle right there, he's releasing to the second level to immediately climb to the linebacker and is able to cover him up. He loses the block late. You could maybe ding him for that, but I know once that play gets out into space, it's going to be a little hard to really stick and drive as that linebacker is going to be able to kind of work the angle a little bit. But just kind of seeing some of the athleticism out in space, get in the way enough. Not the best play in the world. We're going to look at some good and bad. There was more good in this game overall from Frazier, but just looking at some of the concepts and I think what Frazier is capable of doing. Want to see him stick and drive there a little bit better. That's a tough block to make in that kind of open grass like that. But also want to talk about just the concept in this crunch, which is Pittsburgh has run in the past. They ran it last year, actually against Houston a bunch. So it's not brand new to Pittsburgh, but want to note that as well and watch Frazier go out there and execute. Looking at Zach Frazier in pass protection, and what I really like here is the snap and burst out of a stance. In addition to that, you're getting that first significant contact that O-line coach Pat Meyer talks about. You got to be quick off the ball here for an offensive lineman, and being able to make that contact on the D tackle to get into his pads right away is really critical. So we'll get a good look from the end zone, the other end zone view of this play, and we're going to see that burst and that snap out of a stance to get into the pads of the D tackle right away and control that block. And in Pat Meyer's system, you're going to get the center isolated 1v1 a lot more than other systems. If the guard is uncovered under Pat Meyer in Pittsburgh currently, generally speaking, he's going to help the tackle. He's going to give help on the tackle as opposed to giving help on the center. So you got to have a center that's really strong and sturdy and can win some of these more one-on-one matchups because he's going to see that more than other systems and maybe past Steelers teams have. And so that first contact is key. Now, we'll see at the end of the play, we're seeing the D tackle start to get under Frazier's pads and walk him back a little bit. You're seeing some of that power from 91. I do have a concern about Frazier handling some of those bull rushes. It's never easy to do against D tackles running forward as you're trying to block and go backwards. But what my overall takeaway here is against this bull, die slowly is kind of the term that comes to mind. If you're going to lose this bull rush, there are some different techniques you can use to mitigate it. I want to see Frazier be a little more square here. Pat Meyer, I referenced it earlier, teaches the hop step to give some ground where you're going to hop back typically once or twice to be able to kind of reset yourself and anchor and dig your cleats into the ground. I'd like to see that a little bit better from Frazier, but at least he's losing the reps slowly and the ball's out by the time that there is some pressure complete from Kyle Allen to Scotty Miller. So if you can hold that block for 3 seconds, typically the ball is going to be out at the NFL level, at least it should be. So not a perfect rep from Frazier, but we're seeing that burst, that first contact that really helps stall that rush out at the beginning. And then by the time the D tackle kind of reworks his hands and repunches and starts walking Frazier back, he's able to grip and anchor long enough, and the ball's out by the time he really loses the block. I do want to see him be more square here, potentially use that hop step, give a little ground to reset yourself, but I like the overall rep here and just the idea of die slowly against the bull rush, and the ball's going to be out most of the time. Nice rep from Frazier here down on the goal line, a combo block, going to work on the D tackle at the first level, and then he's going to climb and work to number 22 at the second level. So nice job here, really displacing that D tackle out a gap and then working to the second level and covering up the defender here, number 22. So a good combo block on this play, finishing, grip strength. He's got really good grip strength where he gets his hands inside. He's going to be able to lock on, drive his feet, and it's hard to disengage at that point. So a good job here being able to redirect and change directions as he's blocking down on the D tackle and then working upfield and a bit inside on the defender on this play. The run is not completely successful, but that's not Frazier's doing, obviously. And then you're kind of seeing the finish as well of him just kind of getting under the skin of that defender, number 22. I don't know if that's a safety or a linebacker. I think a safety, but the preseason numbers get weird. Regardless, it's a good block here from Frazier and showing that finish and that nasty and just the overall demeanor. These two reps, I think, are really interesting, as small and really technical and nuanced and maybe on the surface unimpressive as they may seem. Watch Frazier head up is that 91, been battling him all game so far, and Frazier loses this rep. He's going to get walked back here. The D tackle gets the penetration, gets into the fullback on this lead run. The play doesn't really go anywhere. You're going to see Frazier get uprighted and out leveraged on this play right there. You can see the D tackle really fire off the ball, get under Frazier. Frazier a little tall, a little too high here, and that creates some penetration, and the back really has nowhere to go. Tough run at the end, able to fall forward, but not a good rep from Frazier's end. We can kind of see it. I don't know how well we'll see it from this end. We'll take a look though, and we're going to see Frazier. You just see how upright he is. You can kind of read the back of his name and see his numbers very clearly on this play as that D tackle fills that gap, gets into Coletto, the fullback, and P. Ryan trying to pick his way forward and fall forward. So not a great rep there from Frazier, but I say that to look at the next rep here, and let me try to fast forward to the rep. We'll get a good end zone view. You see Frazier immediately work on that and improve himself. I want to try to find where I'm at here. Give me 1 second, and we'll pull it up. Okay, here we go. The very next play, again, same matchup, 54 on 91. Watch how much lower, watch the better pad level Frazier immediately adjusts to and plays with on this goal line rep. You're going to see him stay real low here, get under the pad, a 91. He's not being out leveraged. He's not being too tall, and the D tackle is not getting into his pads and uprighting him. And that is a small difference, and the play does not convert. But again, we're just focusing on Frazier. Immediately the next play, knowing he's head up again, he's going to fire off the ball. I got to stay low. If I'm too tall, if I pop up on the snap here, he's going to get under me again, into my chest, and upright me and drive me backwards, and I won't have the momentum to be able to get any sort of movement off the ball here. So much lower by Frazier, much better pad level from him here, and then trying to work to come off the block there. Everything else is kind of irrelevant to our discussion. I want to go back to the other view, see if we can kind of compare and contrast. Frazier better here, being able to get under. You can just kind of tell he's in control of this block a lot more than he was the rep before. It's really the same call. Lead play here behind Coletto. Lose a block here backside with Broderick Jones. I don't think Jones had a particularly great game against Houston, but again, focusing on Frazier, the pad level a whole lot better here, and I like to see that adjustment made from play to play. All right, let's look at screen game, and you're going to see a lot more screens in Pittsburgh this year, hopefully a lot better than they've been, but there's a lot of screens in Arthur Smith's system. See it at training camp almost daily, and a nice job here by Frazier, releasing, getting out in space, hitting a moving target, and a good rep overall from him. So nice punch on that D tackle, just to try to punch him upfield a little bit, and then releasing out and finding a man. So a good job here by Frazier. Not the most fleet of foot in the entire world, and the D tackle he was initially punching made the stop. That's one of the Davis brothers. I think it's Khalil Davis. There's Carlos too. They're both Steelers for a brief time, Carlos and Khalil. But just watching Frazier out in space, and it's not going to be maybe as impressive as what Broderick Jones can do, what Troy Fautanu can do, but I like him picking up a man in space, and so a nice job there, I think, overall from Zach Frazier. We'll see it from the other end zone view, and just to take a look at what that looks like at all these rookies out here, McCormick, Frazier, Fautanu. I think Frazier was really clean overall, obviously with the snap issues Herbig and Fields had. Frazier for most of training camp, maybe a blip or two early in the summer, but he's been really solid since. And again, just find a man out in space, cover him up. Had there been better blocking overall, this one could have gone for a big play. But again, Frazier, I like the rep. Pittsburgh running a trap or gap run here, a short pull from number 74, Spencer Anderson. And when you pull, you got to have this back block. You got to have this back block from Frazier on the D tackle to come down and make sure that he can't penetrate and get upfield and disrupt this play in the backfield. It's a tougher block to make than you might think. And so it's just a nice job here from Frazier to execute, to make that on this D tackle. It's not even like the one tech. He's kind of a gap over. Frazier's got to be able to take a good step and good angle and, again, fire off the ball quickly. Houston's D tackles, they were penetrating and getting upfield the entire game. It really kind of ruined some of the pulls and gap runs Pittsburgh tried to make here. But it's a nice job here overall by Anderson, by Frazier. Frazier on the back block on this D tackle to seal him down so he can't get upfield and potentially, redirect the running back before the run even gets going. And it's a good gain for the running back, Aaron Shamklin. So we'll try to look at it from the opposite end zone view. Again, Anderson pulling around to the 3-tech, Frazier blocking down. We're also going to watch left guard Mason McCormick work to the second level. That's kind of the trap nature of it. McCormick can immediately climb as opposed to comboing and then having the work to the second level. We actually saw this a lot from Arthur Smith in this game. Dylan Cook doing the same. So again, Smith, not just a zone guy, a lot of power, run schemes, gaps, and man blocking schemes on display in this game. And then one last play, nothing too special here late in the game, but just a good down block from Frazier on this D tackle, and then just driving and sealing him as the back runs off his inside hip. And it's a good run, good vision, good cuts by the rookie running back, Dejon Edwards. But just watching Frazier one more time create some movement as that D tackle's trying to shoot the gap and get upfield here, and Frazier riding him down and hoping to pave the way for the running back. So that's just a good, solid rep overall from Frazier and from the O-line in general. Nice job here by left guard Joey Fisher, the pride of Shepherd, who has not played left guard. He was a right guard in camp the entire time. Good job at the second level. He's got some fleet of foot, Fisher does. But again, I'm getting sidetracked here watching all the preseason tape, all the new guys, all the different faces, but a good rep there from Frazier to help pave the way. Overall, I was really impressed by Frazier's debut, again, just fundamentally, which becomes such a greater talking point to you and I and to the fans and media when you see the issues that Herbig and Fields had, but it's always one of those fundamental things that is important to everyone inside that building, to the O-line coach, to the coordinator, to head coach Mike Tomlin. Can you do those routine things routinely and play clean and play fundamentally? If you can't do that, then nothing else really matters. So A, he did that. And then B, I thought he was grippy, thought he had good anchor, thought he showed nasty and finish, thought he got out in space a little bit as well. He worked the second level. He had some good combo blocks. He improved and, changed pad level and kind of corrected mistakes mid-game, drive to drive, play after play as we saw in this one. So still have some concerns about, again, those real big nose tackles that can really eat him up, that are going to get into his pads and just overpower and overwhelm him. That's probably common for a lot of centers who aren't typically as big. They're not the 330-pound guys you don't see too often playing center. You're going to see some of those D tackles in the NFL. But overall, I think Frazier has improved throughout training camp and has gotten better, and is still certainly pushing hard for a first-team starter spot at center with Nate Herbig, who had a really good camp, Herbig did, but had some more struggles in this game. We'll see who starts on Saturday in the second preseason game against Buffalo. Will it be Herbig? Will it be Frazier? Not sure, but Frazier certainly will play a ton regardless, and Frazier was getting a little bit of first-team reps in training camp the last couple of days. So we'll keep watching. Overall, I'm encouraged by Zach Frazier's debut, and we hope it will continue. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Again, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Again, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.